This is going to be a longer video about homelessness, and I'm going to cover a lot of different territory in this video. So first of all, if you've never been homeless before, there's a few things that you're going to need to know. First off, where are your documents? So when you are bouncing from place to place, you're going to need an ID, possibly your birth certificate, your social security card. If you have a safe place to put these documents, you're going to save yourself so much time and energy, because if you lose your ID or somebody loses your stuff, you're going to have to get these documents again, which costs time, energy, and money. And to be able to rent a room or to get a new place, you're going to have these documents, or get a job, you're going to have these documents again. So if there is a safe place where you can put your documents, that would be one of the first things that you're going to want to do. Also, you're getting a P.O. box or storage space is what a lot of people go to. Maybe you have some kind of family heirlooms, or you have, somebody's ashes. I've seen like all kinds of different stuff where they want to be able to put it. Also, where are you going to have your mail sent? So when you decide, to get a P.O. box, trying to get one in a part of town that you can easily access, so things can be sent to you like checks, mail, because, in some cases you might even want to take money, instead of carrying it around with you, taking money orders, mailing them to yourself at your P.O. box, depending on how safe it is. Because the things that you carry around with you are the things that can easily get stolen and you can get robbed. So you want to have your safe things in one place. So if you have never been homeless before, you're going to have a few different choices. Are you going to try, first of all, have you expended all of your avenues, like friends, family, people that you can stay with, couch surfing, ex-lovers, like there's a lot of different things. The sort of like next step after that is pay by the night hotels. So sometimes you can pool your money and stay with someone. So at least a few nights a week, if you're not sleeping in a car, the worst place for you to physically sleep is going to be outside in the elements. So sometimes people find like abandoned buildings to sleep in. The problem with that is a lot of times there are already residents in those places. So if you're going to try something like that, you want to go and look around and see if it looks like somebody's been sleeping in there. Because the last thing you want to do at nighttime is be in some place where somebody else has already set up shop, because they're gonna beat your fucking ass. Or they're gonna rob you, or they're gonna do both. So you don't want to go into those type of places. Like sometimes people can pull up their money and stay in the hotels. The hotels can be anywhere from $30 to $100 a night, depending on where you're at. Sometimes people can sleep in storage spaces. So if you get like a lockout storage space, you might be able to sneak in there a few times. You won't be able to shower or anything, but at least you would have a place that you can be outside. The shelter system, I would ask around. Some places are, full. You're not going to get in there forever, especially family shelters are very, very full. Some shelters are not safe. Sometimes the churches have like a cot you can sleep in at night. You're going to have to sort of ask around to try to find out what's going on. Sometimes people have like literally a van or a car, and if you chip in some money for them to get whatever, they'll let you stay in there. But you want to have your bag with like a limited amount of stuff in it. The blankets and stuff like that, those come and go, especially now the weather's nice. Like those come and go, but in your bag, you want to have your hygiene stuff. So whenever you get an opportunity to get clean, so you want to have an extra pair of socks. So one of the things that's going to be really important when you're homeless is like keeping your feet in good condition, especially if it rains and your shoes get wet or something like that. Also, you're going to be less likely to be harassed the cleaner your physical appearance is. And that's just the way it is. Like if you can keep and also you're going to make more money panhandling if that's something that you want to get into, or if you want to try to get side jobs. The cleaner your appearance is, the more like conventionally attractive you are. It's going to raise the amount of money you can make and the resources that you're going to get. And that's super unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way that it is. But I would definitely keep like my important things, like in a sports bra or something like that, that's against your person. And in terms of like sleeping, to be safe, you want to usually have multiple layers of clothing on that are not easy to get off. So like a pair of leggings or something underneath whatever pants that you have on, so someone can't just rip your stuff off. They have to cut it off. And you want to definitely have a very tight underneath layer, like a very tight sports bra or a tight shirt or something like that, so people can't easily get in there. And that's where I would save some of my valuables, my things that that I don't want to lose. Because if anyone can get in, and also if you get robbed or something like that, they're generally not going to go in there. They're going to look in your pockets. They might look in your shoes. That's another place where some people put stuff. They flip open the top part of their shoes, and you can shove things in there, because people don't usually, they're just looking for whatever's in your pockets. So those are some potential things. But also, being in contact with people, the weird thing about being homeless is you'd be surprised that people will help you versus the people that you think would never help you. They're like, the people who are paid to help you sometimes are less help than some just like random people that will show you the ropes on the street. But always, if people do something nice for you, always value their time. Like, if you have something to eat, split it with them, or if you have a drink or whatever, split it with them. Do whatever you can to try to make goodwill with people but you can't always trust. You can't really trust them. Just so you know that you can't really trust anyone. And so, in these situations where you're homeless, getting onto housing lists, the more you have access to mail and a phone and resources, the better off you're going to be in terms of like bouncing back out of it. That's just kind of how it is. I ended up spiraling into homelessness. Like, by the time you get to where I was, where you have a shopping cart and you're sleeping outside, and I personally, as a woman, preferred sleeping during the day in a public area. If you get to that point where you're less likely to be messed with or assaulted or whatever, if you're in a public area sleeping, and then I would stay up at night, because at night, that's, people, you'd be surprised, like random strangers will try to mess with you, people leaving bars, but you also need to be available to try to do your business and get your money and stuff like that during the daytime. So some part of your day has to be blocked off to try to take care of your personal business. But the cops in general, they don't harass you until around 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock. The business owners will ask you to move or whatever, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. But then if you can find a public area to sleep, it's nice, but that's not always possible. So another possibility is sleeping on public transportation. If you can find the farthest away stops and you can get into the public transportation, if you can get 3 hours of sleep going back and forth on the route before they kick you off, that really does help. But you also have to be very careful with your belongings and sleep with your belongings in a way that people can't mess with them. So I might make a part 2, but I think I've covered a lot of ground in this video.